I'm curious what Aztec Cross has to say about Marathon. Is Marathon a success? Financially wise, I'm gonna have to say no. I'm gonna say no, just because how much money was invested in this game? Let's see. That's not the right Marathon, I swear to fucking God. Holy fuck. What? No way, dude. Wait, so the Bungie Marathon is estimated to have a development budget of roughly 250 million, with total costs including a marketing and operating potentially reaching 340 to 430 million? The game has been in development for 6 to 7 years and is considered a high-stakes, big budget title for Sony. Holy cow, dude. First comment should be, we expecting apologies in 48 hours. So wait a second. So how many units does Bungie need to sell on Marathon game? So based on the industry speculations, Bungie likely needs to sell between 7 to 10 million units of Marathon to be considered a success, driven by the rumored 250 million development budget with a $40 price point is a high development cost. The game faces significant pressures to cover expenses and secure the studio's independence. So target sales suggests between 10 million units with some estimate. The budget concerns that the game development is 250, plus of course a little bit more, apparently reaching up to like 300 and something, you know. Well, Highgar will be gone in a few days. That is very true. That is very true. Interesting. Hey, King. Why is the budget so bloated? It's because of California. That's the reason why. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me find out for you why. Where is Bungie HQ located? In Washington. That's where it's located, right? Washington? Yeah, Washington. So it's in Washington. I can probably say quite a lot or so. All right, let's curious. I'm curious to see what Aztec Cross has to say about this. I'm very curious on his opinion. So I think I'm not sure what to think of Marathon. I'm just not a fan of it visually. Like, I think it's cool if it was a single player game, but as an extraction shooter, I'm not too keen on it. So
we are on March the 8th, 2026, a few days after the launch of Marathon, Bungie's newest game. And by the way, Bungie doesn't release games often. The last time they released a new game was, well, you could count Destiny 2, but Destiny 1, Destiny 2 kind of in the same realm, was 12 years ago. So it's been a hot minute. Now, there is a clip circulating around that my dear own editor, Quiver, decided to clip and post up of me saying, I don't think this game is going to fall below 100,000 players concurrent.
It didn't even reach 100 concurrent players. It didn't even reach 100k concurrent players.
Probably 10k average player base. I guarantee you Marathon is not going to drop below 100,000 concurrent players for the first 6 months. Clip it, boys. Clip it. We may have been a little off. You know what I'm saying? We may have been a little off. Now, now.
Okay, right at the very moment. Okay, like I've said this before, right? We're in the honeymoon phase for this game, okay? That's number one. We have to wait for the honeymoon phase to fade away to see if there are still those players that will come back and keep playing this over and over and over and over again. Also, at the same time, it does not take very long to impress ball and gun gamers, okay? All right, that's all I gotta say. Ball and gun gamers are the easiest people to please in the entire world. If it has a ball or a gun in it that you can shoot, it's fine. But if you take away those mechanics of shooting, like aiming and shooting, let's say for example that aiming and shooting doesn't work in Anthem, or not Anthem, I mean Marathon, you know for a fact the ball and gun gamers would probably be pretty pissed off for this, okay? as what Captain Price said every single time, it's not hard to improve on garbage, okay? I feel like the what is it? Like what's the I guess like the taste of like the FPS genre scene is like so minimal. They'll accept basically anything at this point, you know? Like it just like their standards on like literally FPS is so low compared to other genres of like video games, right? While the other genres of video games have like they keep upping up the antics or so with their video games and everything. That ball and gun gamers are all the way down there at the fucking floor, while all the other genres are like always up here specifically. That's why for me personally, when it comes to FPS games, the golden age of FPS was the best time to be an FPS player. Now in this day and age, FPS is just a laughing stock of a genre, and you just make fun of them specifically because that's all they play, and that's why we call them ball and gun gamers.
Say, you know, maybe if you count consoles, you know, I could try to justify the clip, but in reality, I thought we were going to be over 100,000 on Steam. Now, a lot of people have been sharing around the player population numbers for Marathon and are saying that the game is dead. Again, we don't know what the console numbers are like. If it's like Destiny console numbers are larger than PC numbers. I'm not going to say that PlayStation is carried, but it has outweighed Steam for a very, very long time. With that being said, without a doubt, any developer,
I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know about that. I don't know. It feels like it's pretty low at the end of the day. You can't have a refund on the Sony console, but you can get a refund on Steam at a certain threshold.
Studio, especially a studio like Bungie, wants to see this number and this number to go up. And what you're really seeing from this is kind of similar to like Destiny. You're seeing, obviously the numbers from Destiny were much, much larger, but you're seeing a hold. Right, you're seeing a hold, and you're seeing some level of retention, which is good. You know, if you look at High Guard, it started off at like 97,000 and then just straight up bottom to 10K. I think
well, the reason why is because it was free to play, and then you have people buying this game
in the day. I mean, it was very, very fast. So you're seeing retention here. And I've noticed that the dialogue surrounding Marathon, when people talk about this game, is you'll like it the more you play it. Now, I also understand the sentiment around
that's not a good excuse. Why do I have to put in like 20 plus hours for the game to get good? This is the same argument that we had with what is it, Starfield? Oh, it doesn't get good until you put 80 plus hours into the game. Why do I need to put 80 plus hours into the game in order for it to be good? It should be a good game at the start. You start the moment that fucking title screen opens up to you. It should be at the beginning and then all the way to the end. If I have to put this many hours for the game to get good or fun and everything, that means it's not a fun game.
A multi-billion-dollar company should have a better hook than you'll like it more you play it. Sound familiar though? If you're a Destiny player, whether it's Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, you kind of, especially Destiny 1, you kind of had to be like remember trying to even explain what Destiny was to somebody? And it was also in a similar situation there, where it was like the campaign wasn't the hook. It wasn't as if that we had this huge narrative experience like we got in the previous Halo games. If anything, I finished the Destiny 1 campaign and kind of just wandered around going, where do I go? What do I do? What is the point of this? And it seemed kind of aimless there for, I would say, a week. But then I started finding avenues that I was enjoying. And it was one of those things, like the more I played Destiny, the more I liked it. Now, granted, if you're looking to be satisfied right here and now,
really loves Destiny,
and you're looking for a hook right within the first hour, I'm gonna just say I don't think Marathon has that. It does not have that hook. It is, if anything, it may do the opposite in the first hour. If you sat down and was like, I'm going to give Marathon an hour to prove to me that I should play it, you may uninstall within that first hour. Because between environmental damage, getting damn poisoned by the damn things in Dire Marsh, between claymores being set up in every damn building, between players immediately going balls deep in you, between PvE enemies killing people before you can even do anything, it's a brutal, brutal world. So now we have not only a very niche genre, that being extraction, okay, but we've completely taken the casualness
it's gonna be a niche
out of
community
it.
as well.
In my opinion, there is nothing casual about Marathon by design, which already loses a lot of people. I mean, we talked about the clip, we memed on the clip the other day, but that guy that was, you know, he was shooting at an enemy from super far. I think he was using like an SMG, and you know, his review of the game was essentially that it was terrible because he wandered around, and when he did fight engagements, he got owned. And that is an experience I think a lot of people have experienced with Marathon. However, if you do stick it out, I gotta say, man, like I'm sick right now. You probably can tell, and we're still trying to put in. We almost got 35 hours in the game the past 3 days here. I dare I say addicted to the loot that Marathon has presented here. And
man, you are right, Dubstep. He is just a loot goblin. He just loves loot. That's all he loves is just the loot aspect. He really does. This man really loves the loot.
And I was skeptical because I didn't know if Outpost was really going to live up to the hype. But that third map
He's not beating the
really
allegation, to be honest.
The type of engagements you have on that map, the PvP rush right out the gate that you have, the fact that you have multiple ways of unlocking the pinwheel, and then when you get up to the top, you have ways of getting loot. But also you have to deal with other players that might be in the pinwheel as well.
I think if
Outpost is indicative of what Cryo Archive could be or will be, that right there could be our Vault of Glass moment. And if you remember Destiny really didn't sell for anybody. Everybody was kind of like aimless after the campaign. You know, no one really understood what the hell they were doing. And then Vault of Glass dropped. Now I know that's putting a lot of hype, a lot of copium on Cryo Archive. But hell, Bungie has presented entire trailers just to the Cryo Archive. It's my understanding there's even an ARG going on right now that might be able to allow people to solve or get access to the Cryo Archive. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
If this is supposed to be, let me remind you this, okay? They literally told reviewers, from what I remember, we saw a video or so, to not post out their reviews until the update comes out later this month for Marathon. I bet you that content was already done beforehand and they're releasing it afterwards. I'm just saying. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. That's what I'm feeling at this point, you know? I feel like this was already done, but then they're just adding it later on for an update. Tarkov was good because of the realism, and the gameplay was filled with tension, but they also fucked up a lot, and now it's a niche game. I've heard there was some controversy with Tarkov.
Because I feel like that thing is just locked until the end of the month. But we'll see.
Players basically quit.
Yes, and no one is doing the ARG because everybody is killing the piss out of each other. I'm sorry, boys. Right now, like, don't get me wrong, solving puzzles together as a community, I love it. But right now, I want your loot. And everybody is shoot on sight. Everybody, every soul in this game, shoot on sight. Rooks, shoot on sight. I'm even seeing rook on rook violence, which is fantastic. This is what I was hoping for. Yeah, and also like the sandbox. People are just exploring the sandbox and whatnot. But here's the interesting thing. Even though Marathon's numbers obviously are not fantastic. Again, I don't know what console numbers are looking like.
I don't know, man. I can't justify the paying something or so for like one game mode of a game. You know, it's just like, it's not even a game. It's just a game mode. You know, you're paying $40 for a game mode. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of just that specific aspect of like, here's this, and this is all you get or so, you know?
This is the crazy thing.
I just can never get behind
Marathon is
that.
sitting at almost 11,000 very positive reviews on Steam. So the people that are...
Because the people who weren't going to play it are not going to pay money for this. That's the reason why. If it was free to play, this would be a different story. You'd probably be seeing a little bit more negative reviews.
Playing it are actually liking it. And liking it enough to go and drop a review. I think PlayStation is also looking like that. Somebody want to give me a screenshot of PlayStation. All right, so if you go look at Marathon Standard Edition on PlayStation, it's sitting at a 4.69 star rating out of 5. So yeah, I mean, if you compare that to Steam, about the same there. That's a good sign, man. That's a good sign. That at least means the people...
For me personally, when it comes to a half-baked game, it's definitely not a good thing, because the game just feels like it really does feel half-baked or so. you know, because the UI is terrible, right? The weird loading, weird ambiance, little weird cutscene that you get at the very beginning is very odd in general. It just kind of gives too much artisticness, and it doesn't really feel like it gives enough supplement, like, you know, enough, you know, meat on the bone, basically.
That are playing the game or enjoying the game. And look, I just could tell just from the people that we play with on a regular basis, just about every Destiny player that I see is playing this game, especially my Destiny PvP guys.
So every Destiny player is playing this game. Hey Dubstep, are you playing this game, Dubstep? He says like every single Destiny player is playing it. It's rushed. That's what Bungie is known for. That's what it does feel like. That's what it gives me, that same vibe, or so that it's rushed. That's what this game gives me, that same vibe. So I'm just kind of like, this feels like it's like half baked. Like it's not even fully baked. Probably within like, I'd say a year from now, it'll probably be fully complete. And then the actual updates come out. But at this very moment, it just feels like a half-baked game. Because I've seen gameplay. I watched countless gameplay of this game. And it just does really feel like that. Hell no, I quit D2 a long time ago. But he said every Destiny player is playing this game, you know? You're a Destiny player, aren't you?
They are all no life in the hell out of Marathon. So what does that really mean in the long run?
Really?
Well, I guess it really means Bungie is going to have to do everything they can to make higher lows and potentially higher highs, because some of the dialogue is already starting to change a bit around Marathon. Will people give it a try?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. And I also don't even know
No.
what internal metrics Bungie or Sony wanted to meet for this. But I think
most of the times I've noticed or so that like when it comes to like certain like parts of it or so, at least like when I was watching the gameplay, right? Like they were exploring around or so, and most of the time they're just walking around and getting stuff in general. You know? After like, let's say a couple of games, then there'd be a little bit more PvP, but usually like, you know, they were trying to, and also they were not on the beginner map. I was watching the entire thing, okay? I know there's just like two different like game modes, and like there's one that's a PvE focus, and then another one that's like PvP focus, you know? Well, quotation marks PvP. But like most of the time they usually are exploring around. And then apparently, I can see this being an issue because we saw a video from Hunter TV. Well, I don't know. I think, no, I saw it specifically. You guys didn't see it, but I saw it. Apparently, you can predict where the spawn points are at for where they spawn at. Like straight up, you can literally camp the spawns of where the new runners come in, where they specifically spawn in, and you can just kill them immediately. Like straight up, no joke. You can actually like spawn camp them. He literally straight up, Hunter TV literally memorized where all the spawns are at, went to all the spawns, and just killed the people there. I'm like, I can see that being a problem. Once you've mastered the spawn points, that's going to cause a lot of problems later down the line.
a lot is really going to ride on Cryo Archive. I think so much is going to ride on that map. Highguard had better numbers. Highguard had terrible retention, and it was free to play. And I also don't even know what Highguard's presence was on consoles. What is the worst part of Marathon? I would say that with Marathon, the worst and best part is equally the same. Some people are going to say UI. No, I think this is the thing that's going to...
I think the UI is messed up. I think I heard that the in-game shop is pretty bad as well. That's what I've been hearing, the microtransaction. You can do that in Arc Raiders too. I think they fixed it somewhat by adjusting spawns. Yeah, but the question is, you know, like at the end of the day, right? This is a niche game, right? This is a hardcore for hardcore people, okay? How much of those hardcore audiences are gonna memorize the spawn points and immediately start killing them?
Make people uninstall the game, losing your shit. And I know some of you are familiar with extraction shooters, but losing your shit. Like when you lose, I lost my gold backpack yesterday. When you lose your gold backpack or your gold items, weapons, whatever they may be, that is a terrible, terrible feeling. I'm not gonna lie, man. It kind of brings me back to my RuneScape days. You know, when you were out in the wildy and you lost your shit. But it's two sides to the same coin, where there is you who just lost all of your gold stuff. There is a person gaining that. Your lowest low is their highest high. And vice versa. If you find someone with gold stuff and you rat them just right, and they happen to have that good shit, and now you take his stuff, now that is your highest high. It's poker with guns. It kind of is. It's poker with guns. And I'm not gonna lie, fellas, it's pretty addicting. It is pretty addicting. I don't know what's
Even
on
in Tarkov is the same. People know where you running after spawn, so they camp you.
the other side of that person's corpse. It could be
I
nothing.
just feel like it
could be a
pisses
free
off,
kid.
like just
it could
like
be everything.
you know,
it could be your
people in general.
wildest dreams.
Bleak
And
skin
that
better.
right there is what has
This
pulled me
guy.
into this game, and I cannot stop playing it to the detriment of my health. So Marathon's biggest con and biggest pro are really one and the same. One thing I gotta admit though is that Bungie, I thought they were gonna be a lot slower on getting fixes out. I don't know, you saw the tweet. Bungie's been addressing things so fast, and I don't know if it's the
The
dedication.
only reason why they're doing that or so is because they want the player numbers to go up. They don't want to lose the players either. But the question is, how's the updates for Destiny 2 players going to come along now? It feels like they moved some of the development team from Destiny 2 over to Marathon. And my question is, how many people are still working on Destiny 2 at this very moment?
Servers,
I feel like
the
Destiny 2 is gonna
infrastructure
get
they
left
obviously
behind,
have in
to be
place.
honest.
Bungie's being very quick about addressing things. I'm also
I feel
very
like they're
happy they didn't
abandoning
roll
Destiny
things back.
2.
The other day, there was a duplication glitch where we were able to duplicate the in-game currency to buy items off of the season pass. We maxed.
Are you wait? There's this type of glitch or so in the game that happened. That's crazy, to be honest. Oh, D2 is dry. Look at the player numbers. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Destiny 2 right there. Damn. They literally got abandoned. That's crazy to see that. They have been left abandoned. Damn, it dropped down to 2K of player one time. Yikes. That's pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie. Damn. They literally got left behind. That's crazy to see that. Man. I feel sorry for the Destiny 2 players. I really do. It does feel like they got abandoned 100%.
Maxed out the season pass day one. So kind of funny. They didn't roll it back. So good stuff. They letting it fly. Solo's ass. Arc Raiders is great solo. Wish it was like that. Solo inside of Marathon is ass because the road is more dangerous, and secondly, everyone shoots on sight. Everyone shoots on sight. Solo is a different game. It is a scarier game, a horror game. The road is incredibly dangerous. You have no backup, and everyone shoots on sight, man. Now, personally, I think I like watching solo gameplay of Marathon more than teams. Teams, you almost get like Apex vibes in a way, which is fun. It's cool, right? You're seeing 2 teams of 3 or 3 teams of 3 going at it. Everyone's got their own kits, their different strategies. But solos, when you watch it, when I'm watching someone play solo, it's honestly like a good viewing experience because you feel like you're watching, you know, a semi-horror game. You don't know what's around that corner, and there's no backup. There's nobody's going to save you. Personally, I think my favorite inside of this game has been Rook runs. Rook runs, which are solo runs, but they're solo runs against other trios, has the highest potential of you walking away with the best loot, but also you're going against teams of 3. But I think Rook runs are my favorite part of Marathon, outside of like solving puzzles and whatnot with the team. Now, is this a success? I don't know. I don't have those metrics, guys. I don't know what Sony deems a success. I know for sure Bungie would probably want these numbers to be higher. Hell, who wouldn't? But what I would just concentrate on right now if I was Bungie.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I did hear, this is what I heard too as well. So I'm gonna go back to SteamDB real quick. Sorry for interrupting specifically for this. But if you go to Slay the Spire 2, that's wild to see that. That is crazy. And look how many players are playing it still now at this time. These are the numbers that Bungie wants. Okay? This is a successful game right here. This is a successful game, and it's early access. The game isn't even fully out yet. I'm playing it now. Like, literally, this is a successful game. You look at Marathon, that is not a successful game. That is a pretty abysmal, you know, that is a pretty abysmal numbers to see. And even looking at Arc Raiders too as well, that's also a successful game too as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll be seeing in a couple of months or so to see what's going on with Marathon. But I don't know, man. It does really feel like they took the team members from Destiny 2 and moved them over to Marathon because they need to pop out these updates really fast, you know?
It's just sustaining these numbers, right? Just sustaining these numbers.
Let's see if this 24-hour peak number goes down.
People that love your game right now, and there are people that love this game. You see it from the reviews. You see it from the people that are no life in the piss.
The journalist reviewers, you do not trust them whatsoever. Aztec Cross. I just feel like he's not in the video game scene that much, because we've already know that game journalist reviewers are just not the type of people that you should be. They'd be like, oh yeah, you know, they really love this game a lot, you know? And it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that one, you know? Plus also, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it once and I'm gonna say it again. It is not hard for ball and gun gamers to be impressed. It's not hard to impress a ball and gun gamer, okay? It's really not that hard.
It's out of it. And keep that roadmap rolling, man. Keep it rolling. People waiting for the Vault of Glass moments. Might get it. I don't know. Cryo Archive is being built up pretty good. And just remember, one of the leads from Vault of Glass is who worked on Cryo Archive. Now, I don't know what that means for us. If it's actually I don't think it's gonna be that crazy, but it is interesting. Man came out of retirement just to work on this.
That's fucking wild. So they got that guy who did Vault of Glass to do this one. They got so he's retired and they brought his ass back for this one. Damn, they are sure scraping the bottom of that barrel or so to get anybody, you know, they're pulling all the stops or so for them to get this game to be successful. They're literally trying everything. They're throwing everything, while an indie game literally didn't have to do that much in general, and look how successful that game is. While you know, Bungie is like struggling over there. At the end of the day, we all know this for a fact. Like, literally, Bungie is not the same company anymore. It's just a hollow shell of itself. Okay? They have changed their slogan, what they used to have many years ago. There's a video on it that we did a while back or so for Bungie in general, like Bungie overall, of basically it's not the same company anymore. So, I'm just saying, you know.
Not Luke Smith, god dog it. We would have talked about this.
Slap that like button like your mama told you.
Entertaining video, to be honest. Like I said, there's a lot of things, you know, that, you know, we have to wait until until the honeymoon phase is over. We got to see it, you know, after a couple months or so to see if the player bases are going to go down, you know, and then we will see what happens. We'll see what happens, you know. At the end of the day, it feels like D2 players has been completely abandoned. I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers for D2 go completely even lower. So, hey man, if I hear the moment or so that they're closing Destiny 2 servers, it'd be the craziest thing to see, to be honest. Give it 2 weeks and I can tell if it survives or if it's the 4th Concord. You mean the 3rd Concord. We will see. We have to wait until the honeymoon phase is over. No, you can't look on the mobile stuff for that one. Nah. It's not on Steam, that's why. If it was on Steam, it'd be a different story. But it's not, though. But overall, I don't know, man. It's pretty sad, I'm gonna be honest with you. But we'll see what happens, you know? Like I said, we gotta wait. We have to wait. No, it's not on both. You have to run it through an emulator. That's why. So, anyways, that's the end of the video, and we'll see in the coming weeks. Like I said, I love Aztec Cross, but man, It's a good thing D2 got abandoned. Let that shit die. And but Destiny's series on ice. I said it. So you put the Destiny series on ice. Abandon it completely. Hopefully they make a Destiny 3 with it. You know. Hopefully. But we'll see. Maybe that's the game plan. Maybe. Horizon Zero Exercise is for sure the Concord 3. No. That's the Concord 4. Because it's not release date. You have to go in order on release date. Hunter's Gathering is number 4. Fair Games is number 5. You got to go in order on release date. You can't just bring in Hunter's Gathering when we don't know anything about the game in general. So, anyways, that's the end of the video. And peace.